the funniest thing is that eating meat and the animal proteins helped us develop like our and come to the point in our consciousness of where we are, because it helped develop the brain rapidly, which is the funniest
Well, that's
thing.
actually a controversial theory.
Is it?
Yeah, because it doesn't work that way with other predators. I mean, jaguars don't have big brains.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, and by the way,
But
that theory I believe was formulated before they realized how many monkeys chimpanzees eat. You know, they didn't realize how fucking ruthless and violent chimps really were until they started doing some studies. I forget the guy's name who ran the show. It was like a BBC show, but he was the first one to get footage of chimps eating monkeys, and I think that was in the 90s. So I think these ideas that they had about that, there's two other theories. One of them is a throwing arm, and that when people develop the ability to throw things, that sort of like kicked off our evolution, because we started killing things that were far away from us. And we started getting better at hunting, and we thrived. And as we thrived, we got a little bit more confidence, and we started like thinking about things more. It's like that. The more calm you can get, the more control over your environment, the more you have free time to think about shit, because you're not always fighting off jaguars and all these different things. So we figured out how to do things like throw spears, throw rocks. You know, that's one theory. That's another theory. The other one is psychedelics. The other one is psychedelic mushrooms. And that's the most controversial one, but really the most fascinating one. And it's Terrence McKenna's Stoned Ape theory. And this theory is that somewhere along the line, and this is the undisputable fact, somewhere along the line, the human brain size doubled over a period of 2 million years. And that is, in the entire fossil record, the most confusing thing. Like, more than anything. Like, they're like, well, how does this happen? Like, it's weird for any organ to grow double the size. But the most spectacular organ as far as creating things on the planet is, in no question, the brain. The human brain is, I mean, we alter our environment. We create nuclear bombs. I mean, beyond a doubt, it all happens supposedly inside this area, and this area doubled in 2 years. Well, it's coincidentally also the same time that the rainforest receded into grasslands. There was a climate change, and Terrence McKenna's theory is that monkeys were forced, or lower primates were forced, to come out of the trees and experiment with new food sources because the rainforests were gone, and these animals that were in this once lush tropical environment had to adapt to this new environment. And one of the things they did was there was a lot of cows that were eating the grass, and they would flip over cow turds looking for bugs, and that's the best place for cubensis mushrooms to grow. So these cubensis mushrooms would grow in this cow shit, and these chimps and those whatever the fuck they were, you know, lower primates, Australopithecus, whatever the fuck it was, they would eat these mushrooms. And the idea is twofold. One, that there was a direct increase in their ability to see things, because when you eat psilocybin, especially in low doses, it increases your visual acuity. And the other thing was that it would give them this sort of community, like, loving atmosphere, protecting atmosphere, and that would also aid in their less conflicts. The less conflicts that they had would aid in their innovation, you know, just like with the other thing. And also, they would start having psychedelic experiences, and in large doses, these psychedelic experiences would slowly help them evolve much, much quicker and sort of figure things out that they maybe not have figured out. And the idea, the really weird part of the idea, is that they think, and this is all McKenna and a few other psychos, they think that what mushrooms are is some sort of an alien intelligence that has come here from an asteroid. Because the reason for that is there's nothing that can survive in a vacuum better than spores. And we know that a bunch of shit has come here on asteroids from other planets, like DNA amino acids and the stuff, the building blocks for life, and water. Water comes on comets and asteroids. And we know that spores can survive in a vacuum. And the idea is that somewhere on some other planet, there was some type of a spore, and it came here on an asteroid, landed, and the way it communicates with people is you eat it. And that this is what caused human beings to evolve out of monkeys. I mean, it is one of those 5 bong hit, stare at space and think it through for like 10 hours. At first, it sounds totally ridiculous that mushrooms are silly. Like, you know,
but is there like, I mean, like if he's one scientist or whatever that thinks that there's,
well, he's not even a scientist, really. I mean, he was a scholar. I mean, I don't know what he was. The ethnobotanist, I think, was his his chosen.
So
study.
like, if you ask any of the other thousands of scientists that would know that anything close to what he's talking about
No.
when they think, all right,
Very
he's
few would.
very high.
Yes, sure. Well, first of all, you have to realize that as a scientist, first of all, getting behind anything that advocates a completely new direction in evolution and one based on psychedelic mushrooms, illegal drugs, that's a tough fucking sell. So most scientists would never choose that as a point of study. It's just
Is it that,
just
or
too
is it just like,
controversial.
no, come on?
Could be that. It could be that too. But it's also, they discount the idea that mushrooms could be some sort of potential human evolution tool. They discount that because it sounds ridiculous that an illegal drug could potentially aid in your evolution. And most of them are ignorant of the experience itself. I mean, maybe some of them have fucked around with it, had a little bit, but to have a real full-blown psychedelic experience, I guarantee you wouldn't discredit it.
So what did